Everybody knows me, but I'm Diane Rodriguez at San Francisco Law Library, and I'm more than pleased to introduce Leah Tillman, who is the fourth floor program manager of the Business Science and Technology Department of the San Francisco Public Library. Now, I'm just going to tell you some quick things about her. She's fascinating and really fun. In my role as in the public law library, I had the pleasure of meeting Leah as we cross-pollinate with the public library and try to, tell each other what's going on, so we can send each other that patrons back and forth and coordinate on some things. Leah was born with an interest in cooking and a love for food, and was always eager to assist in the kitchen growing up. And as a result, she worked in kitchens on yachts in the Caribbean, and then returned to San Francisco eventually to work at Cha Cha Cha, which if anyone's familiar, pretty amazing. She had advanced training on her culinary path at the South Park Cafe with a former Japanese chef, and then followed by Judy Rogers at Zuni Cafe. So she's really worked in like my favorite restaurants. And maybe she'll invite me over for lunch someday. She's worked at some of my favorite places, and then on to the Sedona Bar and Grill in Berkeley, the Slow Club, and the DeYoung Museum Cafe, where she learned to build menus. So this is important to know. Why? Because she's business science and technology. But once she started a family, she returned to school, and she ended up with her MLIS, and she began her library career as a page at the San Francisco Public Library at Glen Park. And she worked her way up. And after completing her MLIS, she worked at both the Bancroft Library in UC Berkeley and the Main Library in San Francisco, where she is now. She moved into the Business Science and Technology Department in 2014, where she's now fourth floor Programs and Collections Manager. And last year, she received an innovative fellowship offered by a generous donor, and is busy actualizing her dream of merging her two passions of cooking and reading through her Biblio Bistro program, which she'll also tell you about. So, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you for having me here today. I'm first going to talk about our top small business resources. Hopefully, some here familiar with some of them. And all of you are welcome to apply for our San Francisco Public Library card if you don't have one already. With the library card, you could have access to all of our electronic resources. I'm only going to talk about the business resources, but there are many others in the system that cover literature and music and magazines and so forth. So I'll get started. So what we have to offer to small business entrepreneurs are tools to build lists of prospects, tools to identify where your competition is if you're starting a business, industry overviews, we have market research, instructor-led courses, we have free 24/7 access to online tech library, full text access to trade and industry journals, and market demographics. Those are just some of the things that we offer at the public library. So to get to our databases, you go to sfpl.org. Let's see, it's the same one here, sfpl.org, and go to articles and databases. And then if you go to the topic tab and select business, that will take you to our databases. Now, I'm going to start with explaining a little bit about some of our directory databases. One of which is DMB $1 Million Database. So if you're researching companies that are both national and international, this is a good one for top companies in the world. You can filter your criteria by such things as minority owned, or if you're looking for businesses that are only owned by women, you can do that in this database. You can search by company name. You can search by any of these items, country, state, city, metro area, zip code, and there's also a radius search. You can search by industry. We can help you, or you can look up the NIX code or SIC code, or you can search by keyword. And you can search by the size of the company. So if you are interested in only looking at small companies. You can specify that in this database. And you can also search by such things as job functions. So you're only looking at companies that have an accounting staff, for example. You can do that with this filter. And then it renders these results with this kind of information. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. This is useful when you are looking at, competitors and to see what certain industries are doing that are similar to the one that you're interested in. Another kind of directory that we have is, and this one is probably the one that's used the most. Are you all familiar with this one, the Reference USA? Okay, this one is an interesting one. So they are located in Nebraska. And in Omaha, Nebraska, and they have this huge warehouse, and they have actual people doing their research and verifying the company information by calling them up on the phone to verify information. And it's like thousands of staff in their little cubicles on the phone verifying information through the yellow pages. And I'll show you, but with this database, you can, if you are starting a new business, you can see how many new businesses are in your specific area. You can also research businesses nationally and in Canada. We just acquired a historical database, so if you want information about where a company's been, or if they're closed, if they exist any longer, you can do that. There's a module for job searching, and we do have a Jobs and Career Center at the San Francisco Public Library that's really active, and we help a lot of people find work, so this is a useful module for us. We just acquired the U.S. healthcare, so you can look up, we get a lot of questions about physicians and who's in our area. So this one is really useful. It actually has data on the doctors, where they went to school, how many patients they have, so you can make decisions about who you would like to have as your physician or dentist. We have Canadian white pages, and this one you're going to love, consumer lifestyles. You can search on consumers in your area where you want to start a business. So and I'll get to that in a minute. And then who's moved into your area as well. These are all, that's why I had to add this. Use my own drive because we just got this last week. So in Reference USA, again, you can use filters. These are some of them that you can narrow down your search by using these. If you're only searching for home-based businesses, you can select that. You can use special select, so if you're looking for the web address of a company, or if you want to know if they're Fortune 1000 or how many years they've been in business, you can specify that in your filters. So, and you see over here, there's the V stands for the fact that they have verified the information. There it is, V. And so somebody's actually called the company and verified that it exists and all the information that they have about it in the database was correct. Yes?
I don't do this very frequently, so forgive my ignorance, but how does this compare to something like, wasn't there Thomas Register was a business directory?
I'm getting to that. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. Oh, sorry. And we have access to the yellow books in the leadership library. Is this going to be far more comprehensive than what we would have available there?
I haven't used yellow books. Is that yellow pages? No. Okay, I haven't used
to be much larger companies.
Okay, yeah. So this includes small companies as well as large ones, public and so forth. So the U stands for it's unverified, so the information is in the database, but they haven't had a chance yet to verify its accuracy. And then C means that the business is closed. So on this page, you'll see, so when you search a company, you're going to end up with this kind of information. it'll give you the sales volume, it'll give you the number of employees, where they're located, a lot of pertinent information. It's, as you can see, that they have the management directory, their sales. You can create a chart there is a chart of their sales history. And so that's all useful information. Now, in the consumer module, if you wanted to start a dog walking business in San Francisco, in the zip code area 94102, you would go to the lifestyle consumer module and make these selections. You can see, you can drill down by age and gender. So if you want to only target a certain age group, like 20 to 35-year-olds, you can do that in this database. And what it will tell you here, if you want to start a dog walking business, you can see who's bought products that have to do with dogs in the zip code area. They collect this information. And you can search by radius. And then it will render a list of now you see at the top in red, it says the telephone numbers displayed may not be, they're do not call lists and should not be used for solicitation. But but you can use the addresses and, canvass a neighborhood with flyers. So yeah, this is the one that always gets the gasps and the. Let's see, what else? So like I said, you can search by age and you can search by zip code. Cover that. And
No, it's the whole United States, huh?
and Canada. Yeah. And then it will give you a chart. So in this one, you can see that with this search, so there are 2 people in this age range, 35 to 39, that bought dog products. And 1 person, age 40 and 44, and none in this age range, and so forth. So you can see how that works. I always tell people, keep in mind, it's just a database. And, people have put this together, and it may not always be entirely accurate, but oftentimes it really isn't. You can really zero in on your competition if you're trying to start a small business. Okay, so then we also have industry and market information. So in Business Insights Global, you can search on large corporations and industries. And this one is useful for giving you some background information on big companies. We put Starbucks up there because everyone knows what it is. It gives you this kind of information. So number of companies, number of employees, what their annual revenue is. And then you can read industry essays on these companies. So if you are starting a business, a coffee shop in San Francisco, it will serve you to read the industry information in this database. When you're writing your business plan, you have a really good sense of who's out there and what they're doing and how much they're making. And here's an example of the kind of information that you would be able to access in the industry news. Business Source Complete has current articles on industries and companies, so you can search that way. It's another way to sort of focus your research. You can narrow it down to just specific things like market research reports and industry profiles. This is a newly acquired database called Statista. So it's a good one for finding statistics on various companies and industries. It has really esoteric information at times. I had a person who was looking for the top 10 companies in the United States travel expenses for 2015. And so we actually found it in this database because they have current news. They have a news feed, and they had a journal in there that had precisely that information. So, I mean, and another good thing about this, Statista, we selected this one because we felt it would serve our general public fairly well, but also it's really it's user friendly. So you can export your information into Excel spreadsheet or make a PowerPoint with the statistics that you arrive at, and then you can manipulate them. So if you're doing a presentation and you want to sort of, you can present it however you like. So anyway, so something like this, you could transfer this right into a PowerPoint or an Excel spreadsheet. Might be good for lawyers. Miscellaneous online resources. So we just wanted people to be aware that we have all kinds of obscure trade journals. Here's an example of one, Tea and Coffee Trade Journal. So if you can't find what you're looking for, please, either ask us or you can search the catalog yourself. But we have a tremendous periodical collection with many, many obscure trade journals. Yes?
Can I ask you with the databases? So if we have a library card, we just go to your website, or do you have to actually authenticate and be at your library?
You can access the databases remotely with your library card.
Excellent, thank you.
Do you pay like a lot in licensing fees?
We pay a lot. But we're also one of the few public libraries in the country that's strongly supported by the public. So taxpayer dollars goes to our collection development, and we're lucky enough to have that so that we can, provide materials that most people would never be able to afford. That's our aim. We buy extremely expensive books because we know that most people can't afford them, and they're accessible in the public library. And the same is true of the databases, definitely. So you're all familiar with ProQuest, I saw, because the vendors in the other room. So we do have access to ProQuest, and what we wanted you to know about this is that you can set up an alert so that if new documents are published on a particular topic that you're doing research on, you'll get an email that tells you that there's a new article and where to read it. The Small Business Resource Center is another database where you can access business plans. That's what we like about this one, because a lot of people come to us wanting to learn how to do that, how to put it together. So we have a lot of books, and we also have this database that walks you through it. We have online courses so that you can, as you can see, that these are some of them, but if you want to know about business courses, we have them. They are at specific times. They have a start date and end date. They're free. If you can't complete the course, you're not in jeopardy. You won't get punished. It's just you can take it at your will. But there is a start and stop date for these courses. So you can see the subject areas that they cover. We also have Treehouse, and what we wanted you to know about Treehouse is that, so this is a database where you can learn beginning to advanced software programs. And I had a patron, I was doing outreach, and I had a patron who was typing away on her laptop, and she looked up and she said, "What are you here for?" And I explained. She said, "Oh, I love the public library. She says, "You have Treehouse. I learned how to do software programs on Treehouse, and now I have a job at Google. So we wanted you to be aware that in Treehouse, they have a whole course for starting a business. So that's pretty cool. They're available 24/7. They, if you run into snags in your coursework, and this is self-paced. And the way it works, it's kind of like a video game where you begin the course and you have somebody a little cartoon character talking to you. Cartoon character that looks like a real person talking to you and walks you through the steps, and then you have little tests along the way. And if you don't pass, then you go back until you learn it, and they advance you. So if you run into a snag where you can't advance, you can actually contact them and they'll help you. And these folks are teaching people in remote areas of Africa who don't have access to resources to learn computer programming. So they're very interesting folks, and they're located in Portland, Oregon. We also acquired lynda.com, so we get a lot of questions from people about how to use their devices. And this database has videos that will take you through step by step in terms of learning how to use your device and learning how to do various things. We included this one today because it actually has courses, business courses. So, yes?
Is there the lynda.com subscription you have, is it limited in any way? Like if you want to learn how to do Linux, OS and things like that, can one conceivably find things like that there?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know about Linux specifically. I haven't had a chance to explore this one because we just got it like last week, I think.
Oh.
But we do have course material on Linux. We have it in book form, and we also have on the next database I'm going to show you, it has, they have videos as well, and books that we have, so I'll get to that in a minute. All right, so yeah, we wanted to show you that they have a home and small office courses for people to learn, and small business marketing. And the feedback from patrons so far, because we did just get this, it was a couple of weeks ago, is that the videos are really good and extremely helpful. I have some people who are taking classes at City College, and the teacher referred them to our database for their coursework. So, and they said they're really clear, really easy to follow. So the next database we have is Safari Tech, and Safari Tech has limited seats. So we used to have unlimited, but they just decided that they're going to limit it to 40. This one is really good because they have computer books, technology books in full text online, so you can just read them on your computer or device. But again, if 40 people are using it at the same time, then nobody else can. So to compensate for that, we got Books 24/7, which has no limits. And they have an even more extensive collection. So between the two, in terms of covering technology, books, and information, we have a very robust electronic collection. Yes?
Does the Safari Tech require you to actively log out before it lets someone into their 40?
Yeah, that one would, but this one doesn't. Yeah. Yes.
Are all the individual titles that are within Safari Tech and this Books 24/7, are they also individually listed like in your regular OPAC? So and so then it would take me through,
Yeah.
like if I was just looking for books and all.
It takes you to a link, and then you
Okay.
click on that, and it takes you into the book.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Thanks.
It also, 24/7 also offers videos on various topics, so you can see, here's an example. QuickBooks. We also recently acquired Weiss Readings, which has always been in hard copy, and they just recently developed this amazing database, and it was developed by librarians, for librarians, to help the public navigate rating systems for banks and credit unions and stocks and mutual funds, and they also include Medigap. So a lot of people have a lot of questions about Medigap because they don't fall into one category or the other, and they're in between. And Wise Ratings is one of the few resources that offers a clear explanation on how to navigate that part of the insurance world. So when you are researching a bank, it will give you this kind of information, historical highlights, company information, and it will rate it against all the other banks in the country. And so that's useful, and you can see that California Republic Bank got an A-, and it will explain why. Let's see, and then this one, we're in the stocks module. So if you are a complete novice at investing, this is a good place to start, because it will rate stocks for you on an A+ to F basis. So if you select A+ stocks, you'll know that you're in pretty good shape if you select them for investing, because they've proven to perform well.
What if you don't know the ticker symbol, will help you figure that out?
Yeah, it will, yeah. So this is the kind of information you will get. And as you can see, it makes a recommendation. The Apple is B because it goes up and down a lot, but it also recommends because it's basically reliable and steady buy. But if you really don't want to have any question, you can just bump it over to I only want to look at A+ stocks and then invest in that way. I don't know, it's a whole other part of the world that I'm just learning about. It seems very complex. Okay, so then we also have our print collection. We have the Book of Lists, and this one is used a whole lot. The coverage includes San Francisco Bay Area and Sacramento. It has pertinent information on large companies, and just to give you an idea of how much it costs if you purchase it on your own, it's $169 for one digital download. So the fact that we have it in hard copy at the library is a boon for all kinds of business researchers. We also have market demographics, so this is sort of general overview of various topics like who we are and how we're doing in the United States, A to Z to American consumers, who spends how long on what. Again, they come out annually, so they're not, they're sort of general overview, but we have a lot of students that are studying business that come to the library, and these are useful for them to sort of get a handle on what they're trying to study. And it's also good for small business owners when they're developing their plan as well. And then we recommend a few websites, and so here's the Thomas Net. We like this one because it helps our patrons locate manufacturers and distributors and service providers. So for example, if you are trying to start an essential oil business, you can find out who is already doing it. 5 minutes. Oh, wow, I better hurry. See, we have a lot of resources. Then we have, we just wanted to point out the San Francisco Business Portal. So that's with the city's small business, Office of Small Business, I believe, is the name. And they have a whole, it's a department that will help you get started, and they walk you through all the steps, and they offer classes. And they focus on, depending on what your business will be, they focus on various things, and they have a whole coursework that you can, that they'll move you through so that you succeed as a business owner in San Francisco. So contact us if you have any questions. At the bottom of your resource page, the email for business@sfpl.org. We answer those emails every day. If you have questions, come in and see us. Come and get a library card if you'd like to. You're welcome to. And that's the end of that presentation. Do you want to see?
Yeah. Okay, you did the thing.
I'll try. Okay, let's see. So, as Diane said, I was awarded a fellowship at the beginning, in the middle of the year of last year. And so we were challenged by Peter Wiley to come up with an innovative program that would move the library into the future. And so with my background, I've been trying for years to figure out how to get cooking into the library. And I saw this cart online, this cart, and I thought, okay, here we go. So given that we are in the Bay Area and the food revolution started here, House Waters, you know, all the big superstar chefs are here in the Bay Area. And I was really wanting to connect our public who can't afford to eat in these expensive places to this part of our, important part of our Bay Area culture. Also, cooking and food programs relate directly to the National Dialogue on Sustainability, Healthy Eating Habits, and our educational goals. So when I saw this cart on Facebook, I thought, okay, great, here we go. So I proposed that we do a garden to table program, and there's two components to it. One is the cart. It has an induction stove top, a convection oven, a Vitamix, and a grill, and a gray water sink system, and really nice cooking tools. I've had various trainings for my staff. We have our food handler certification. This was the training on the cart. This was a training, pantry to plate training at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank. This was our garden to table training with Life Lab. Years ago in 2009, when my brand, I used to be the manager of Trail Ranch Library, and we were closed for renovation, so I was redeployed to Mission Branch, and that was the year that Mayor Gavin Newsom asked us to think about ways to green areas that on city property that were sitting unused. So we had this patio outside the children's room at Mission Branch Library, and you can see the fence, and on the other side of the fence was a lot of nefarious activity, as well as a crucifixion scene from the church that was across the alleyway. And in the children's room, that's what you see. We'd always thought, is there some way to cover that up? So I thought, well, let's put in a garden, and teach gardening classes. And so I found a landscape contractor to donate all the materials. It was Sunday streets, the streets were closed. I walked by and said, I'd like to start a garden at the backside of the library, do a teaching program, gardening program there for kids. Would you be interested in working with us? And he said, well, what do you need? What are you doing? And I explained, and he said, well, I think I can give you the lumber, the drip system, and the soil. Will that be enough? And I was like, yeah. So we built this box, and we put the whole thing together in 2 days, which is like a miracle in city government time. And this was our first class. So we got starts from a donor from a Richmond district gardener who gave us a bunch of starts for the kids to plant. And this was our class. And when we harvested the food, I made a very simple dressing, lemon juice, garlic, olive oil, and we made a salad. And some of these kids had never had salad in their lives before, and their eyes just popped, and they said, "This is so good! Can I have more?" And they had like 3 and 4 and 5 helpings of salad. So I thought, okay, great, here we go. This is what I want to do. But then there's a disconnect between where the food comes from and then how to prepare it. So I've just been incubating this idea for years. How do we teach them how to cook? Then the cart came along, and now we're doing it. So this is our first day at the farmer's market. We showed people how to cook chard. And I had an inkling that many people don't really know how to prepare this vegetable. And I was right, almost every single person who came up to us did not know how to cook chard. So I've created these brochures with the help of our incredible graphic artist. They have the featured ingredient for the day, where they have books about the ingredients, whether they're cookbooks or medicinal use books or gardening books. And on the backside is the recipe that we're preparing that day. So you're welcome to take some of those if you like. I'm over time. So anyway, we hand out samples, and it's just amazing. We reach out to, we figure it's probably about 300 people a day. I'm only there from 11 to 2. And we're also doing cooking programs in the library. This was our teen program. And in this one, the kids that normally wouldn't talk to each other were interacting with each other. We're cooperating together and to produce their meal. So that was really cool. So that's the end.
Is there a schedule of work